There's no getting away from it. This one from Time Token is almost trying its hardest not to come up with anything original. But it's cheap, and I mean dirt cheap. So I thought, why not put it through its paces? And as usual, I'll be giving this one away to one of my channel members, so if you fancy the chance of grabbing this and any other watch that comes in for a review, then please consider joining the Fully Lumed family by hitting the join button below the video. And while you're there, a like and subscribe would be amazing, thanks. First impressions, and honestly, I was expecting something so junk that if you pulled it from a budget cracker, you'd be half tempted to go back to the shop and ask for a refund on the whole bloody box. But it's actually not. Yes, it's cheap, and yes, you'll have to align your expectations with the price you pay, but for a sub 50 quid watch, it's actually quite impressive. The dial especially is really good. There's plenty of texturing, sunburst finishes, different levels, and altogether it creates quite an expensive looking end result. But for some inexplicably silly reason, one of the bits of originality Time Token have injected into the watch has taken away my favourite feature of the original watch. Which we'll come back to, but the biggest faux pas for me is that name. Time Token. It sounds like some sort of late 80s or early 90s straight to VHS budget children's sci-fi flick. It's a brand name that no matter what they produce in the future will always cheapen the end result. They could create something that rivals San Martin in terms of finishing and build quality, but slap Time Token on the dial and suddenly it's back to feeling like a 50 quid budget watch. Specs wise, it has a 39mm fully polished stainless steel case, 47.5mm lug to lug and 12.2mm thick, including the domed AR coated sapphire crystal. It has a screw down case back and push ball crown contributing to 50 metres of water resistance. Inside it's powered by the Miyota OS21 basic quartz chronograph movement. And it comes on a claimed genuine leather strap. So, a really inexpensive watch that's clearly been built to a budget. But somehow the budget stretched to one or two premium features. So what's not to love? Well, let's find out. I was trying to think of an expressive way to describe the case of this thing, and thankfully I've managed it. The case is simple, borderline basic, and probably an off-the-shelf part. I know, riveting stuff. If you'd like to nominate me for the Nobel Prize in Literature, I wouldn't blame you. But in all seriousness, it is a simple case. And it probably is just an off-the-shelf part. But this watch was never about the case at all. It's merely there to hold the main attraction together. But what you do get though is a well constructed one. Long lugs stretch across the wrist, giving it that classic dressy but still masculine look. Every visible surface is polished bar the case back. And you won't find any elaborate chamfers or adventurous shaping here. Oddly enough, that simplicity actually helps. Nothing looks out of place and nothing draws attention to itself for the wrong reasons. The case sides are nicely curved too, which helps those long lugs feel a touch more compact on the wrist while keeping the proportions intact. The crown is small and short, which makes it slightly awkward to grab, but thankfully it's only a push-pull, so it's hardly a daily hardship. It's signed as well, though rather strangely engraved with some sort of bow, arrow and crown motif. I've no idea what it represents. It's not mentioned anywhere I've seen, so whether it's part of the brand identity or simply whatever happened to come attached to the crowns from the supplier remains a mystery. The pushers are your standard quartz fare. They click nicely enough and do what's required of them. Flip the watch over and you're greeted by a slim radial brush case back engraved with the Time Token logo and the usual specification details. Nicely done overall, although the notches for the case back tool feel a bit rough and unfinished when you run your finger across them. There's honestly not much more I can say about this case. It is what it is, and what it is a cheap but perfectly serviceable way of showing off the dial. Now obviously, this dial is the star of the show. And yes, it is an outright copy of a certain British micro brand. And yes, I've already explained my uneasiness with copying micro brands before, and everything I said still applies here. This thing isn't going to be competing with the Studio Underd0g. The Watermel0n series is a design masterpiece with a price tag to match the work of art that it is. This, meanwhile, is a cheap quartz watch that costs less than my kid's McDonald's order. If you want the former and can afford the former, this thing will neither cut it nor will it likely ever appear on your radar. But with that said, apart from one feature, I actually love how they've managed to cram so much attractive detail into this dial. The main dial has a nicely executed grainy texture, finished in a cool reddish pink fume that darkens towards the outer edge, before colliding beautifully with the lime green tachymeter ring. That ring sits lower than the central dial too, which adds a welcome bit of depth, and it stops the whole thing looking flat. Then you've got two asymmetrical bicompact subdials, finished with a strong sunburst effect that catches the light really nicely. And again, it's all very well done for the money. The tachymeter markings feel a bit more decorative than functional though. With the central chronograph second hand ticking once per second, the finer scale markings become fairly obsolete. On a watch this cheap, it's hardly a scandal. But I probably would have preferred a cleaner outer track instead. I'd also have liked to have seen the 24-hour subdial swapped for a running seconds display. Without the chronograph hand moving, the watch can feel a little too static. And that 24-hour dial does absolutely nothing for me here. Time Token have added their own touches, with a 12 marker up top and the original pip markers replaced by a broken circle of applied indices. They look decent enough, and the applied markers at this price are a pleasant surprise. But those pip markers on the original are one of my favourite details, and it's a huge part of its charm. Without them, this feels noticeably less playful, which is a shame. One of my criticisms of the Studio Underdog is the lack of a date complication, which I still think most chronographs should have. Thankfully, Time Token have included one here at 6 o'clock. It's tucked neatly out the way and balances the text above it nicely, even if the dial remains asymmetrical overall. The hands are, well, they're there. Thin stick hands doing little more than pointing at things. But it's much the same on the original, and at least they don't distract from the dial, which is clearly where all the effort went. And they do have lume too. Not much, but it exists. A modest glow on the hour and minute hands. It's actually respectable given the lack of surface area, but don't expect miracles. This watch clearly isn't about the lume, so the fact that it has any at all is a nice touch. On the wrist, and this one looks really cool, and it fits my 6¼ inch wrist really well. It's comfortable, fairly light and easy to wear. Honestly, I just can't stop looking at it. It's such a vibrant, fun little thing that it keeps dragging your eyes back for another glance. In fact, I like it so much, I keep checking eBay and Chrono24 for the actual Studio Underdog originals. Then I see what they're going for and immediately know there's no chance of me sneaking that past Mrs. Lumed. The strap, visually at least, is fairly nice. A simple leather strap with a heavy carved skin print. It's surprisingly subtle and comfortable, though the upper surfaces feel a bit plasticky, maybe even slightly rubbery. I'm sure there's some genuine leather involved somewhere, but most of the materials feel enthusiastically man-made. It does come with a nice chunky pin buckle though, nicely shaped and well suited to the case design. All in all, there's nothing original happening here. It's simply a dirt cheap quartz chronograph wearing someone else's idea. But what an idea it is. Loud, cheerful and impossible to ignore. My biggest issue though is that it's so vibrant and interesting looking it might genuinely start conversations. Which then means you'll have to endure the whole rigmarole of explaining what it is. And what it very much isn't. Thanks for watching, please like and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one.